Okay, so I've got my bike set up with this little control box that I made that goes down to the power switch on and off, and it's got a horn switch there, and powers the front light here, and also back here got a tail and brake light, and here got a horn. That's activated by the horn switch. So we turn this on, and got currently the brake light coming on because got a brake sensor here, or a rather reed switch, and so got these rare earth magnets, 10 of them, and so one of these can activate this, operate this magnetically sensitive reed switch. So yeah, when it comes near it, you can go off, basically, yeah, change the switch. So with it oriented somewhere, then you can go away from it and near it, and it will change that from the tail light. And then when the brake lever is pressed, it goes away and it lights up more because it's activating the switch contacts on that brake switch, on the brake light, and then goes nearer when the brakes when you let go of it. So it goes back to tail light mode. Brakes on, normal. And how it works on here is you can take this sensor, put it on the sort of housing bit of the brake lever, and then you're going to mount this magnet here kind of on the lever itself, near it, so that when you press the brake lever it'll go away, brake comes on, and then like release the lever and it goes back to taillight mode. So that's the idea. So playing around with this to see which ways the orientation of the magnet. It's got a different sort of magnetic field depending on which way it's turning. So you can see that turn this way, it works, and then turn it this way, it has to get a lot closer. So this way, magnetic flux or field is coming out this way, but I want it to be oriented on the lever more like this, so that I can mount it more easily with epoxy putty around the side. So I've got this Milliput black putty epoxy. So it's 2-part epoxy. It's kind of like plasticine or modelling clay. Mix them together and then mould them around what you want it to stick to, and it'll stick to surfaces as well as sort of becoming sort of a solid piece that you can sand and paint or whatever. So that should work. So yeah, the idea is to get this magnet and hopefully put it around sort of long ways so that the putty can go either side of it. And so going back to the switch, it doesn't really do anything this way, so I flipped it 90 degrees and now it does, and it does do it in the centre, so that's good. So going back to here, I'll probably have to mark the magnet basically to say which is the good way. And so yeah, it doesn't do anything that way, this way it does. Okay, so that'll work like that. Now this sensor has some sort of 3M, either 3M tape or 3M style tape. It doesn't say it's 3M, so it's probably just a pretend one. But yeah, it might work well. The the surface of this brake housing isn't quite flat. Oh, it's not flat at all. It's not on the bit where I want to mount it. There's going to be a big gap. So I think when I use the epoxy sort of under and around the reed switch here so that it can stick to it. So it'll be below it, providing the adhesion, and then around it to sort of hold it more. Looks reasonably sealed around the cable, but I mean, won't have to put some more around it, and then have the seal bit around this. So I'm going to have to get a pen or something to mark the magnet to say which way is the good way. There's another reed switch for the other brake lever, and in this control box, which has got a relay, just sort of built that in there. Just turn that off now, turn the system off. Yeah, it's got two of these, I've forgotten what they're called now, quite standard waterproof connectors. So we've got, there's 3 pins in there, but actually only 2 of the pins are used for the cables. It's just like a simple on-off switch inside this reed sensor. So, oh yeah, Higo connectors, that's what these are called, Higo. So yeah, one connector goes into the control box, just here, and comes through to here and splits out to a Y. So if either brake is pulled, if either brake lever is pulled, then it will activate the brake light. Right, and the other important thing is some beer to be able to do the job. So yeah, I'm going to go get my pen, have a bit of beer, and then yeah, I guess clean. It's supposed to have a grease-free surface, so I'll probably just clean them up with some soap and water. Okay, I got some stainless steel cleaner. Just couldn't really find. I'd probably usually go for glass cleaner, but as long as it sort of degreases it, that's fine. So it's not abrasive. It's not going to be any good if it's wet, so get a dryish bit of this. Probably just let this dry while I'm marking the magnets up for the good side, I sort of mentioned earlier. Yeah, the reason I was doing this video is because basically when I looked on the internet to try and find out how to do it, well, how to add brake switches to your levers, most of them were like built into the brake lever. So I've got Tektro Origa hydraulic brake levers, and there are a selection of like e-bike aimed at levers. So they got the switches in there to do like a e-bike motor cutout. That's what they're sort of aimed at doing. So you can get those. There may be ones that are compatible with my brake calipers. So I couldn't get a straight answer from Tektro. Couldn't find that information. But people said that you could do this thing where you get these little micro switches and add a little magnet. Now most of the magnets that they showed were the ones that came with it, like a little disc, so it looks like a little button battery with a hole in the middle, but the hole doesn't really serve any purpose because someone showed drilling into the brake lever, tapping a hole, and then putting a machine screw in there to hold it, and yeah, that would work, but I don't really want to drill into my brake lever. I guess one reason is warranty, not really fussed about warranty, but my bike's only 6 months old at the moment, so you know it's still under warranty. And if it failed, if the brake lever failed while it was in a normal sort of state, then it'd be okay. But if it failed because I put a hole in it, I couldn't really claim that. Now if I put this stuff on top of it, stick stuff to it, and then it fails, you know, I could take the putty off and clean it up. And you know, if the brake lever snaps because of weakness or a manufacturing fault, then I could possibly get that replaced. It's got a CD marker pen just because it's a felt tip that I can mark on the magnet. And look, grab one of these, see which way it works. I'm going to use the one that's connected. Turn this on. You can hear the reed switch click, but it's easier to, yeah, so you can hear the relay click. Okay, so that way's good. And mark on here. Can have it just that way up. So the other bits I've got some cardboard to mix my epoxy on. Got a plastic fork or something. Just gonna use this as like a spready spatula type thing. Got some gloves too, which might help to hold stuff, keep grease off. Not sure how well these are going to work when I'm working. I've used this before, but I used 2-part epoxy, different stuff. Okay. I hate these things. It's like a thing you get on bread. Okay. Okay, so I guess I cut some of this off. Can always use more, got a lot of spare. This is like quite hard modelling clay really. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to mix this. It says you're supposed to mix it until there's no streaks and stuff in it, but I might have to get like a metal spoon or something. Or maybe I can just use my hands. Hands with the gloves on. That's not a bad idea. Hold it together, I guess. I got this because it's black. So, you know, I don't have like a white putty thing on there. And you can get grey. Also, wouldn't be great for my mostly black bike. So there's no streaks in it. That says, that's what it said you had to do. Mix it until there's no streaks. Can't see any, it looks quite uniform in colour. Okay, so that's sort of squidged nicely. I'm going to sort of angle this down. That's squidged out. I'm going to try and press that in there to sort of be in that gap. Same on this side. Just press it in there. It's kind of sliding around a bit. I might have to get something to hold it in place. Put some around on this side. Right, so it might not look too pretty to start with. Oh, I've got some Velcro here. Okay, just going to try and get this around here. So there's the bit underneath, there's its own 3M style tape, which seems quite sticky. If I get this putty all around it, it might work as a sort of permanent plaster or band-aid. And as long as I get it reasonably flat, I can probably flatten it or smooth it, possibly sand it. Get these wrinkly bits out that are coming from these gloves. Okay, rubbing with these gloves actually works quite well. Cut some of this Velcro up. And that's, the cable's pretty much staying where it needs to be anyway. Also, it just stays where it needs to be. So I think I'm going to leave the magnet here either for a bit, or maybe I might let that set first. But the next bit, next brake sensor or read switch. Get another blob of this. Do the same thing as last time. So the same bit. Same bit that I mixed up. Put this in the void. It's quite a lot, but I'll squeeze out and then can mould it around. So, just gonna squash that in. Yeah, again, got the same thing as on the other side, so without much putty around it, it's sort of wiggling around. Here's a bit of Velcro that I prepared that's barely big enough to fit around. Good enough for holding it in place. Just takes off some of that turning force of the cable flopping around. So I'm just going to squeeze that in. Same at the bottom. So the first little bit. It's kind of at the edge. Trying to avoid that overhang. I'm just going to try and add the same amount of putty around it. So I think this sort of generous amount that I'm putting on, I know it's generous, I don't know, could be just the right amount. I think this covering should be enough to sort of hold it down as well as sort of relying on the adhesive bit of it. So the amount I mixed up is roughly equal parts for both of the reed switches. Decent coverage, just trying to make it roughly even, get any bumps out. What I'll probably do is just leave it. If it's smooth enough, basically smooth, probably won't bother sanding it. Looks alright to me. It's kind of like it's taped over with electrical tape, which is fine. I think I might call that it. It's got my little magnet with a little dot. Obviously I'll have another magnet with a dot on this side. Yeah. That's because that one's not connected. So I've got the two brake connectors, or brake switch wires gone into this Y splitter. So yeah, back to what I was saying with the magnet. So you've got the two magnets and put one in place. Right, so it'll be one brake or this brake. That's how that's going to work, and see that way up works. So do the same thing, mark this. Now I've got our two magnets which are going to put on the levers either side, both released, one active, the other active. I mean, both active is going to do the same thing, but yeah, one or the other or both will activate the brake. So I think I'm going to do the same thing for the magnets. Basically put them in place with a little blob and put a blob around them. I've left these for about an hour, half an hour, so it's not yet cured, but I'm going to carry on with the magnet bits. So yeah, this time I don't need that much. So, kneading this together. This should be where the spatula comes in. Be able to squeeze this in from the side. Probably use a similar amount of putty on the other side. Just get the two bedded bits in place. idea is I should be able to get these sat in their beds of putty, make sure that they activate correctly, and then I'll be able to cover them up. Right, let's turn it on. Okay. So that's working, but notice this one. This one. Try and push the magnet a little bit towards it. This side, try and do the same. So, because my brakes have got a bit of dead zone, I suppose, like it takes a while for it to pull before the pistons on the caliper push down on the brake pad. It's okay that they don't go immediately, so that's fine. I mean, it could have been, the brakes only activate sort of here, so that's fine. This one is good. Just gonna try and keep the putty away from that housing here, just so it doesn't bind up. I think similar to most putty things, just trying to get it out while it's still pliable. It's better. Got quite a lot of extra putty here. I might use that around the cable bit here to secure it a bit more. But got these two bits left for the magnet, so sort of cover it over. Didn't actually need that much. But yeah, probably just add a bit at a time, just so I don't hit the sides basically, or contact the existing putty for the switch. So now probably just keep that on, so I know if I've knocked the magnet out of place. That's good. This one. Just kind of trying to flatten that down a bit. That looks alright really. Put this up around, just going to build it up around the cable and get a bit of a better cable retention. Turn this back on again. Still working great. Okay, so it's not very smooth, it's quite bumpy, but the more I drag over it, the more because it's kind of going, some of it's going off and some of it's not. Just trying not to mess around with it too much. It looks basically okay. Main thing is that it's going to stick and work. These will do the job. I'll see how they work on the roads, but looks good for now. I'll tidy up the cables later when everything's all set. But yeah, looks good. And if you're wondering what the horn sounds like, it sounds like this. Yeah, that's it.